Good afternoon. Thank you for this honor. Thank you, President Vítek Jedlička, for inviting me here. Sorry I couldn't make it in person, but I'm very happy that I can provide the message that I wanted to convey with you or share with you, at least through these means. I'll tell you about how we started working on our most ambitious project. We are designing a small modular reactor from the ground up, and our aim was not to build the prettiest and the most elegant technical solution. We just wanted to be the one that will actually make it to the market. Therefore, we had to make some compromises in our ambitions. So we went mostly for very safe bets, very safe solutions, something that's tried, tested. We avoided exotic materials. We didn't try to innovate where it didn't seem to be necessary. And therefore, I can say that we are making quite good progress. We're not quite a typical startup. We have been around for 196 years. Right now, our group is one of the significant groups in Central Europe in machinery, in heavy machinery. We've been doing nuclear for as long as the industry existed. So from the beginning, we understood that even though we are experienced and resourceful people, we'll need as many friends as we can have, and so we actually we partner with a lot of leaders in the industry. Why are we really doing this? Because actually we expect, just like you, that by 2050 the demand for installed capacity, installed power more precisely, in SMRs only will be about 400 gigawatts, primarily driven by data centers, but not only. 400 gigawatts, that's equivalent of, let's say, 250 most modern large blocks. Some people who operate data centers told me that by 2030 they will need 90 gigawatts of installed power for the data centers only. It's a tall order, but we will try to oblige. So to David design. It's a 100 megawatt reactor. It's 100 megawatts in a block. One block is two reactors. It is a passively safe design, walk-away safe as we call it. You can forget that you own the power plant, walk away from it, and it will just finish the fuel cycle, turn itself off, without any kind of input from operators or without any kind of danger that it would pose to the environment. Due to some technical solutions that we implement, I said we try not to innovate as much as we don't have to innovate, but in certain areas we just had to. And one of the things is that because of one technical solution that I will show you the idea of very soon, is that we actually managed to prolong the life expectancy of the power plant to at least 100 years. Our software, and actually the software that's available in the market, doesn't allow us to calculate for longer than that. So that's why we say 100 years, but maybe it's much more. I dare to say it's the safest design of PWR in the world. PWR meaning pressurized water reactor. So essentially, this is the main slide about how the technology is configured, what makes David plant different from other reactors that you know. The primary circuit in normal nuclear power plants extend from the reactor to the steam generator. In case of David plant and David SMR as the reactor itself, the primary circuit is only limited and confined to within the pressure vessel of the reactor. How is it possible? Well, this is the vessel-in-vessel system, which is further in two containments, but let's focus on the vessels now. The primary internal reactor vessel is the vessel that houses the reactor core, and that's the only one that contains the activated materials. There is between the reactor pressure vessel and the internal reactor vessel, remember vessel-on-vessel system, there is heat exchanger from which the energy is taken to the steam generator, which means that the water taken to the steam generator is already not active, and in fact, it's actually has a high concentration of boron acid, meaning the reactor, in case of any kind of leak, is very safe because the boron acid will stop the fission reaction. So, as I mentioned before, we have been quite conservative in the approach about how to design David plant and David SMR. This is a pressurized water reactor, which is the most common type of energy of reactor used for production of energy in the world. More than half of them are. Our system, our innovation is the insert circuit, as I mentioned earlier on that scheme. Well, what this approach took us to is that we are using known fuels, we are using proven materials and proven approaches in the approach to the safety of the whole plant. We touched the topic of modularity. Well, for us, the modularity means that not only the reactors are stackable, we can build 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, but also that every part where it is at least reasonably possible is actually a spare part. So the reactor is highly modular in itself, and the whole plant is highly modular. Here, just for illustration, you can see the main blocks main building blocks of the David SMR. You can see the upper block, the reactor pressure vessel, the internal vessel with heat exchangers, reactivity control system, and reactor core in one of its configurations. The internal vessel with heat exchangers itself is also a service part, just like its upper block. And this also means that throughout the life of the plant, we could possibly change the internal vessel with heat exchangers, an upper block, the reactivity control system, and also the core, just keeping the pressure vessel. This allows us for great flexibility, which has not been seen in other reactors or other concepts when it comes to even fuel geometry. We are using only very proven materials and proven components anywhere we can. I'd like to draw attention to one number here, and it's 202 tons. It's the heaviest part of the plant, and this is a burden we transport normally from our factories. The reactor internal vessel adds the new security layer. It is a complicated heat exchanger, but it is in nature it's similar to steam generator. Therefore, it is a known design. And the upper block, it can actually keep higher pressure in the intermediate circuit than in the primary circuit, by design, of course. And this allows us to have a high concentration of boron acid in the intermediate circuit. What it means is that in case there is a leak, the medium with the high concentration of boron acid will be pushed into the inside of the reactor, stopping the fission reaction. The reactor design is always very tied to the reactor core design. In our case, it's not so much. We have due to the vessel and vessel system, we have much greater flexibility than any other design. Meaning that we actually worked on 2 options of the configuration of the internal reactor vessel that actually utilizes both options that we considered so far, and that's hexagonal fuel of the Russian type and square fuel of the American type. So what is David intended to solve? Well, first, it's a power plant, so it makes electric energy. It also generates heat, therefore it is meant to be used as a heating plant or combined heat and power facility. It is also meant to solve like one big thing, like which is desalination. Last but not least, it's the data centers. I mentioned that the nuclear power is stable. It's highly available, especially in configuration when there is more small reactors, because let's say that One of them is under regular maintenance. Other ones are still producing the energy. Plus, the residual heat can be used for trigeneration, meaning that it can actually power fridge-like system, which will provide cooling for the data centers. It is difficult to say how much the overnight cost will be in time when David gets built, which is in about 8 to 10 years. But what I can say is that our system will be the same price as the others, just added flexibility and added safety and longer lifetime. Our main advantage, I would say, is the clarity of the technological solution. We started working on this design in about 2009. We started pulling the resources, putting together the teams, and now we are basically on the track. I think in 2026 we should be able to present the whole design to regulators in the countries where we decide to present this as an option for their energy situation. So, dear Liberlanders, dear President Jedlička, thank you very much for this opportunity and thank you for your attention.